Hello and welcome. This is Michele Christensen, and this is a Plan With Me video for October 2018. Now, this video is super late. I do apologize for that, but I have had allergies, and I've been sneezing so loud they sound like I'm screaming. And I didn't recognize it as allergies because that's not usually what they look like for me. But I'm doing okay right now, so let's get on with the video. Now, I myself am an avid OneNote fan, and I use OneNote to keep just about everything in my life, big and small, organized and all in one place. I'm a YouTube creator, I'm a blogger at OneNoteworthyLife.com, and I host the OneNote Bullet Journal Facebook group. Now, in this Plan With Me video, I've actually already done my planning process. I like to use this period of transitioning from month to month to really reflect on what I got done, what I didn't get done, and what I want to happen in the next month. So it takes some time and some thinking and some, quiet kind of contemplation time. So I like to film the video after that's all done. And as you'll see, most of my OneNote pages are really simple, so I don't have much to show you in this video in terms of OneNote tips and tricks. So the first thing I do is review the goals that I set for the prior month. And I have split them into a couple of sections just to make it a little bit easier. I didn't actually realize this until I went to set this video up, so you won't see this separation in September's Plan With Me video. So the first category is health and wellness. So one of the first goals I set every month is to have a calorie goal. I had put on some weight last year, and so I'm trying to undereat by a little bit each day to help take the weight off. And in this particular month, September, my calorie goal was to have an average of undereating by like 210 calories. And I hit this, barely, but I hit it. So I'm going to increase it just a little bit for October. And I'm really pleased with the results. The weight's coming off and my body fat percentage is dropping, which means that I'm losing fat and not lean body mass. Or some positive combination thereof. Like I might be losing fat and gaining lean body mass or whatever, but it's all moving in a good direction. So my sleep has been a big focus this year. One of the habits I've been working on is not using my tablet in bed when I'm trying to go to sleep. So for the last couple months, I've gotten it to like what I think is a really sustainable level, and that's that I get to use my tablet on Saturdays because it's kind of in the middle of the weekend, and then 2 other days during the month. And I have just continued to put this on my goals because I didn't want to forget about it or backslide. So I'm doing really good on this. It's getting really easy. I really don't even need to think about it or work that hard on it anymore. So I'm going to keep doing this, but I'm not going to put it on my monthly goals anymore. It's just going to be something I track on my calendar, which I can show you when I show you my calendar for September. So I also want to focus on my bedtime. So I had a goal of getting into bed 50% or more of the days on time. And for me, on time means within an hour of my target. So I'm still working on this. I only got to bed about 30% of the time, but I feel like the habit and the awareness of what I need to do to get to bed on time is building. And I'm getting up pretty much on time when I want to. And I'm really hoping that over the next few months that I can get this bedtime thing nailed. So the last part of my health and wellness goals was to make some trip plans, and I have started that. Reservations made, and I'm feeling great about that. Okay, so the next section of goals for September had to do with my business. So my first goal was to create 4 YouTube videos in September, and I almost made this. Video number 4 was almost done at the end of the month, and I just didn't see the point of pushing and staying up late to finish it on that last day of the month. So I didn't do that, but it was almost done. So really close. I feel good about that. And then I added a goal on the 7th of the month, which was to deactivate 4 of my old email lists. So I've been self-employed for a while, and I have an email list, and people have signed up under various interest areas. And so some of them just aren't relevant to what I'm doing anymore. So I want to start deleting those so that I can keep my email list just relevant to what I'm doing right now. And it's just kind of tedious to do this process of deleting them or deactivating them. So I'm trying to just do 1 a week so that over time it'll get done. And I'm pleased to say I hit this goal, and I'm going to do the same thing for October. So my final section for September's goals is just kind of miscellaneous other thing. I have this project with some bonds, and I have started that, so I feel good about that. And I want to prune my daily setup routine. So one of the things I want to do is focus on doing more things right away. Part of what I do every day is process all the new incoming things that I've gotten the prior day. And if something's really small, I just do it right away. And that's been really helpful. It takes me a little longer to get through that daily setup, but it's great to not have little items lingering and having to be tracked and stuff like that. So another goal I had for September was to at least think about creating a daily template that only had items that pertain to today. So I have this, but I still tend to add too much. I shrink the text and I move things around to fit too much on the page, and it's really defeating the purpose. So that's still on my, kind of horizon there. I also had this for September that I want to think about a more structured daily or even weekly routine to eliminate some of the decision making I have throughout the day every time I'm switching gears. So I still like this idea, but I don't have any solid ideas that I can implement. So at some point I was actually on the 3rd of the month, I just kind of wiped the slate clean and started fresh. My daily page had just become far too bloated and complex. There was just way too much on there to pertain to a day. So I just had to wipe the slate and start fresh. And I did. It's working great so far. Another goal I had for September was to be more consistent with my daily habits and to try and get caught up on these. And these are just little odds and ends I do every day, like taking care of the mail and, various cleaning and straightening tasks and that kind of thing. So I did not hit this goal. I'm going to try again in October. And something I want to just think about and continue to think about is how to have more structure in my life and feel more on top of all the different areas of my life. So things like habits, work, tasks, projects, fitness, recreation, all that kind of stuff. So still thinking about that, hoping to make some progress on that soon. So the next section of my monthly review is a section I call What Else? And so this is just things that happen, good, bad, indifferent, unexpected, things that maybe put me off course or help me to stay on course. So item number 1 is I'm still missing Danny. Danny is our dog. He was 12 and he died in July. And, it's hard. I'm still missing him. And I think that emotional grieving process really played into some of the ways that September unfolded, meaning that I didn't get as much done and I didn't have quite as much go get 'em kind of energy. So I'm also way overdue for a vacation. So I'm very excited to have that trip on the horizon. Can't wait for that. I got done, I sorted out the dog's shots and paperwork, so I feel really good about that. I also hit a business milestone with respect to my income, and I don't want to give specifics on that. But yeah, it was really a nice kind of thing that I wanted to highlight and celebrate. So along with that, I wanted to try switching my business metrics, which I usually look at every week. That's one of the last things I do when I wrap up the work week on Friday. I look at certain metrics, which are numbers basically, and it's changed over time what I look at. It depends on what my current goals are and stuff like that, but I usually do that every Friday. And I said, well, maybe I can save some time and only do that monthly. And I skipped 2 Fridays in September, and I did not like it. I felt very out of touch with my business. I felt like I didn't know what was going on, and almost like I was kind of groping around in a dark room. So I went right back to doing it on Fridays, and yeah, I'm going to stick with that. I'm glad I tried it, and I think that's how we learn and how we optimize our decisions and how we spend time. But yeah, I tried that, didn't like it. So this was like a little win for me. There were 2 paper physical checks that I still had to write every month, and I've now converted them to electronic payment. And the reason why they were set up as paper checks and why they still were isn't that important. The point is that I have taken all the steps and I have no more regular checks that I write. So I feel really psyched about that. And shout out to Jared DeCamp of Class and Office. He is my paper-free inspiration. He is really good with not using or handling paper. So I'll link to the Class and Office website in the description of this video. So another thought that came to me in September is that I need to stretch more often. I really don't like to stretch. I love all kinds of other activities, you know, physical fitness and working out and bike riding and that kind of stuff, but I just do not like to stretch. Never have. And the result is really starting to add up, and I'm really starting to feel the impact of not being flexible. So I do want to get into a better stretching routine in October. So the final element for September is that I started working on a new desk project. So I'm getting a new desk, I'm getting a big workstation upgrade, and I'm really excited about that. And I think it will help with the feelings of tightness. I think when I have better posture in my day-to-day work hours, that's going to help with that as well. And this was actually a bigger project than just clicking the order button on the desk. We're rearranging some spaces and stuff. And I actually talked about this in another video on mind mapping. This was the example I used to make that video. So I will link to that in the description as well. So the next item I like to review is my pruning update. And pruning was my theme for 2018. I want to streamline things, have less on my plate, fewer open things at a time. So I like to look at how I did in this, what kind of progress did I make during the month. And early in the month, I made this comment that so that I might be ready to create an entire blank monthly section. So right now, I just create a fresh page every day because I haven't felt comfortable enough with the page I use on a daily basis to just make a whole month. So that's what I said early in the month. A little later in the month, I said, no, my daily page still holds way too much. Some days just get so congested, and so I really want to work on creating a daily page that more strictly forces me to limit the stuff that's, you know, on my plate for that day. So on the 18th, I was working on a much leaner daily page, and I was really happy with that. And you'll see when I show you the calendar that on the 20th, I got my entire to-do list done, which to me says that I kind of made a really good plan for the beginning of the day, that I knew exactly how much I could get done, and I got it done. So that's kind of, for me, that's like a perfect size planning load for the day. So the final thing I like to review is my annual plan for that month. So I do an annual plan at the beginning of the year, and this is what I thought I would be doing in September. And these last few months of the year, I intentionally left very light because I figured by this time probably some things would have fallen by the wayside, and there's also a lot of general busyness toward the end of the year. So I wanted to give myself some extra bandwidth to get these things done. And in September, we just had one family birthday, and that went off without a hitch. It was really fun, and that was great. So the last thing I want to show you is the calendar I keep for the month of September. So as you can see, I don't use this for appointments. I usually like to write down one good or interesting thing that happened that day. And then I do a little doodling and stuff. So you can see right here on the 20th, let's see if I can, I don't know if I'm going to be able to highlight this or draw on it for you. Yeah, it's not letting me do that. But anyway, right here on the 20th, I got my entire personal to-do list done. And then with the tablet, I use this blue highlight here, and I just highlight the date for the days I used my tablet. And you can see that I did really good on that. I hit my goal. So that's all I'm going to do on that in October, is to continue to track that. So let's see. It's time to set up October. So the first thing I like to do is look at my annual plan, and this is what I thought I would be doing in October when I set my annual plan up. And I had two things that I was going to do this month. One is to start the Christmas cakes. My husband's family he has Irish heritage, and one of the things that they did is they always did a traditional British Christmas cake at Christmas time. And if you've ever heard of this or read about it, it takes 2 months to make. So you have to actually start it in October, and it needs to be kind of like set up and ready to just age by the end of October. So I've done this the last couple of years. I don't think I'm doing it this year. I just feel like I have other, things that I would rather spend time on right now. So we'll see. I might still end up doing it, but I don't think I'm going to do it this year. We also have a family birthday this month, so that'll be happening. And then my October goals, and again, this is based on those September goals. So I'm going to up that calorie goal just a little bit to 220, and I like to do this multiplication here, which is 31 days, 220 calories a day. So this is the number I expect to be in deficit at the end of the month. So for my sleep, I'm going to focus on bed and wake times. My goal is to be in bed 50% or more of the days on time and be up on time 90% of the time. So I went pretty high with that getting up time because I have been getting up on time, so I thought that would be pretty easy to do. I want to work on those trip plans. The trip's going to be happening, so I have to, be working on the plans. And I set a goal to stretch 10 times this month. So I'll show you on the next page the little tracker I set up for that. And I really need to do these things, like to track it when I'm trying to really force myself to do something, because I need the evidence in front of me and I need kind of the accountability. So I have that personal project with the bonds. So I want to get the next step done. And pruning my daily setup. So I'm going to continue to focus more on doing things right away. Really want to try to work towards a daily template that just helps me focus on today. And then I want to, again, think about adding more structure to my days or weeks so I don't have to do so much decision making throughout the day. So those daily habits, I want to continue catching up and being more consistent. And with the desk, I want to get the desk ordered by the end of the month. So that is the target. Really hoping I hit that. I want to make progress on the dishwasher. Our dishwasher is starting to act up, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get a part for it or end up replacing it. But that's a whole research project, so I just want to make some progress on that. It's not urgent yet, but I don't want to end up in a situation where I have to make a purchase, under pressure. So with my business, One Noteworthy Life, that's my business and blog name, I want to deactivate 4 of those old email lists. And then with my content, I want to do 4 and possibly 5 videos this month. So maybe 3 or 4 for YouTube. Plus, I have to create a video for the upcoming Learn OneNote conference. And that gives me a perfect chance to tell you about the conference. The Learn OneNote conference happens in November. It's an online event, totally free to attend, and there are, over 30 experts presenting their best OneNote tips, tricks, and strategies. It's really fun. This will be my 3rd year as either an attendee or a speaker, and I will put a link to the registration page in the description of this video. But if you love OneNote, I strongly encourage you to check it out because it's really a great event. And then I was going to show you this page I made to track my stretching workouts. So I'm at 2 so far. I'm filming this a little ways into October, so I actually have 2 done so far. And this first line just counts up 1 through 10. Then I have the date, and then I have the situation. So these 2 stretching workouts happened in a dance class. And so I might do one when I do a workout, or I might do one by itself or something. So I just want to keep track of where I did them, so that I have that as a reference. So the last thing I want to do to set up October is to add in an October calendar. And I actually just created a video by request of how to add a calendar like this. So I will link to that in the description of this video as well. This is just a PDF calendar. You can use a lot of different programs to create a PDF calendar, and then you can just insert it into OneNote. And then I use my tablet. I have a stylus-enabled tablet that I use to write and doodle on top of this. And sometimes I paste or use an emoji or something like that. So let's see. That is it. I am all set up for October. And I really, really have come to love this process. I have seen so many positive changes and so much forward momentum since I started doing this. And one of the things that's really helped me to learn and focus on is that making like a tiny little change each month really adds up over time. So it's helped me keep focused on the longer picture and not wanting change to happen so fast. If you have a process like this, or you're wanting to start one and I can support you in any way, feel free to reach out. Let me know how I can help you. If there's a video you'd like to see, let me know, because I really believe that this process can really help change your life, my life. So if you do have questions or comments or something you want to see in more detail, I encourage you to either leave a comment on this video or contact me via my contact form, which I will put in the description. I love hearing your questions and comments, and sometimes I end up making a video in response to a question, and I consider that a win-win. So if you do have any questions or comments, go ahead and let me know. And if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button so that I know you liked it. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe by hitting the subscribe button so that you get notified when I make future videos. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.